Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I filmed everything about skin. So I filmed how I prep my skin, how I do my foundation, concealer, highlight and contour, blush. I showed you a few of my favorite products that I use constantly. And yeah, if you want to see how I did this look, continue watching. Elcie Pearl Radiance Primer is one of my favorite primers to apply. I do about 2 pumps of this all over the face. I'm going to take my foundation brush and apply this on my face. This is the G2 Morphe brush. I love this brush. So this primer has a super creamy texture and it's got like that pearly iridescent look. It evens out the skin tone and fills in the pores, makes the foundation last longer. I have some sunspots here that I have to cover, obviously the dark circles. My go-to favorite foundation is the MakeUpForever Ultra HD. I'm in the color 331. So using the G2 Morphe brush to apply this foundation, my favorite way to apply foundation is to pounce around the skin. I don't do circular motion. I just kind of tap. This foundation is medium to full coverage, my favorite kind. I typically don't ever wear a light coverage foundation. And it has a natural to dewy finish. But that also depends on your own skin. So my skin's really oily. So on me, it's natural to dewy finish. But if you have really dry skin, then on you, it might be more of a natural finish, not so much of a dewy finish. But also, I guess, depends on what primer you're using. If you're using a mattifying primer, you can mattify this foundation. If you're using a dewy primer, then your foundation is going to be more on the dewy family. So I'm a brush girl. I barely use a beauty blender to apply foundation. That's just my style. There's nothing wrong with using a beauty blender. When I was younger, my mom used to say to me, don't stay in the sun, put on sunblock, because you'll see the damage later when you're older. And guess what? Now that I'm older, I'm starting to see all the sunspots. So if you're young and you follow me, listen to your mom. She knows what she's talking about. Moms always know best. That saying is there for a reason. I'm like in that awkward stage of my hair right now where my hair is like not long and not short. So me don't like it. Next, I'm using Shape Tape by Tarte, and the 2 colors that I mix are light neutral and light medium honey. A dot of each color. This concealer is super full coverage and super thick, super creamy. I'm just gonna use a small size beauty blender to blend this all out. And look how much of this is going to spread out. Of course, I gotta be careful now because I finished my bottom lash line area and I don't want to ruin it. So typically when I do concealer, I just concealer the dark part. I don't really bring concealer all the way up because I don't need to accentuate the wrinkles that I have there, because the more product you apply there, the more your wrinkles will show. I always do one eye at a time. So I'll blend this concealer out, set it with powder, and then I'll move on to the other eye. I'm going to use the Peach Perfect setting powder by Too Faced. It's been only a few weeks that I've been using this powder and I'm obsessed. It has a peachy smell and taste because sometimes it gets in my mouth and I'm like, it tastes so good. So this part of the beauty blender that I use, I'm going to use the clean part to set it with the powder. See, it just got in my mouth a little bit and it tastes so good. This is the only powder, setting powder, that I feel like doesn't crease and it doesn't have any flashback. I tried the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I tried the RCMA translucent powder, and I feel like both I like, but they both have a little bit of flashback. I only use a setting powder for like the T-zone area, and then I use a different powder for the rest. Oh my god, if you guys ever buy this translucent powder, you're not going to want to buy anything else. I'm going to use the new Model's Own foundation stick. These just came in the mail the other day, and this is a darker shade obviously, and I'm going to use it to contour my face. So I don't like to contour with cream, but this look was requested by you guys, so I will do anything to make you happy. So just there. A little bit there, around the hairline. You guys, you don't have to do a contour stick or a contour cream 15 shades darker than your face. Like 2 shades darker helps. When you do anything that's really dark, that is going to look crazy. I'm gonna take number 4 BH brush and just blend that out. I don't like to use a super harsh dark contour, especially because my cheeks are naturally chiseled. I feel like I don't need to have a super dark contour because my cheeks already have like that look. So now let's just blend this out. Sometimes I watch videos of some girls contouring their face with like, they'll be white skin and their contour shade will be like the darkest contour shade they make, and I'm just like, wow, okay, let's see how she blends that one out. See, like that's all you need for a contour in my opinion. Now I'm going to take the new Girlactik Luminous face powders. This is the color medium. And I'm going to set my contour. I'm going to use MAC 109 brush. It looks like a tiny little kabuki brush. I'm going to set the contour. Now, when you set the contour, you're going to darken it naturally a little bit because the powder is going to darken it. So everywhere I put the contour, now I'm setting it with powder. That's why I'm using like a kabuki style brush. It's pretty stiff but fluffy at the same time. It's big enough just to set my contour. I don't want to use a brush, for example, that's too big like this, because then I'll have no control and then my contour will be all over the place. The Girlactik Luminous face powder in light to set the rest of my face, because think about it, I still haven't set my foundation, the rest of my foundation. And now I can use a fluffier brush to set the rest of my foundation, because setting the rest of my foundation doesn't have to be perfect. All right, time for some highlight and blush. By Inglot, it's called Soft Sparkler. I like to use a smaller brush for highlighter. I don't use a fan brush for highlighter. I typically don't use big brushes for highlighter. I like to use something that's fluffy but has some control, because I only want to keep my highlight like right in here. This is the MAC 225 brush. To be honest, this is a very old brush, so I'm not really sure if they make it. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. So bright and so beautiful. And then right above the brow, I always like to take a clean brush or the same brush that I use for powder, just to kind of blend it all out so it's not too bold in your face. And now we're about to do my favorite part, blush. I love blush. I'm going to use Amazemint by Dose of Colors. It's this really pretty peachy color with a little bit of shimmer. I'm going to use this Namani Beauty angled brush to apply my blush. I'm a huge fan of peachy blushes. I'm not really a fan of pink or mauve kind of blushes. I always feel like I use peachy blushes unless I'm doing a super pink mauve look. Then I'll try to match my blush so it all looks seamless. I wish this little thing would go away. It's not a pimple, it's not a blackhead or a whitehead, it's just a bump. And anytime I go to get a facial, I'm like, get it out, and they're like, we can't. Using Jouer lip pencil in the color Sable. Using Lazy Daisy by Dose of Colors on the lips. Let's see how this one looks. I love this lip color by Dose of Colors. Lazy Daisy, you've got my heart. It's such a pretty color. I'm about to set my makeup with my favorite Elcie setting spray. Smells so good. And this is the final look. I hope you guys liked the way I do my skin. There are even more simpler ways that I do my skin, but this is what I would do typically if I do full glam. I'm going to a wedding tomorrow, so the same routine that I just did right now for my skin, that's the same thing I'll do if I'm going to an event or I need my foundation to last pretty much all day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time.